Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome to the weekly show. So glad to be here with all of you today. And we are going to get started on a topic today that I really have, a lot of you have written in about, asking me after you saw my show on things, medical subjects that medical students, pre-medical aspirants can do in high school to improve their chances with college, to show colleges they have found areas they're interested in, have begun researching, integrating themselves into. And I saw some of the emails that came in about this, and I thought that would be a great idea for a show, since so many of you have questions about this. The show we did on medicine was about the idea of translational medicine, how high school students could really get involved and start learning about translational medicine in high school. And it's a very niche topic and a way to show colleges they are really exposing themselves to the medical field, learning about the interdisciplinary aspects of the medical field. Today we're going to focus on a business topic that's a corollary to that, and that is going to be behavioral finance. Behavioral finance is the psychology behind financial decisions, and many companies today always have been, and even more increasingly, study behavioral finance. The internet, artificial intelligence has made this process easier, more streamlined. They are heavily invested in studying the psychology behind why people make purchases, why individuals make purchases, why families make purchases, when they make them. And it combines the psychology and economics to understand why people are making the financial choices they do. And it requires an understanding of not just economics, but also in-depth psychology, interpersonal psychology, also behavioral psychology, even in some ways deeper psychology, Freudian psychology, understand the unconscious choices people make and why they make them. And this is a great topic for high school students to begin to study when they're younger. And when students start early, it's very hard to write about this in one's essays or and talk about on interviews if a student has not done much their first 3.5 years of high school, 3 years of high school, to show that they are interested in this, have taken steps to study it and spent time on it, time studying and learning about it. So behavioral finance, fascinating topic. And some of the ideas in there are bias, overconfidence in decisions, and there are schools in the United States, top-tier schools, Ivy League schools, other top-tier schools, such as the University of Chicago, MIT, Duke, have very strong behavioral finance programs and a very heavy interest in behavioral finance. The University of Chicago, as a matter of fact, is heavily focused on cutting-edge research on behavioral finance and have Nobel Prize-winning theorists that have come from their university, and it's fantastic. And even schools like Duke, fantastic college, that's an almost Ivy, it's a top-tier school. They emphasize real-world applications of their theories, how they can be applied. And so they're blending a lot of theory, and they do a lot of experimentation in Duke, market experiments. And behavioral finance is really essential for those interested in working in the business world, in analytics, for understanding market anomalies, why there are differentiating factors in certain markets, and also investor behavior. This is all part of behavioral finance. Again, a very niche topic for students to spend their time early on in high school studying, and when they apply to college, talking about what they've learned, how they've grown from it, and more importantly, how they want to study it further in college at a university, and how they hope to apply what they learn in the real world one day when they graduate, or while they're in college, an internship. Colleges, top universities love this when you come in with a very clear vision. Students come in with a very clear vision of what they want to study and what they want to do in college. So we're talking about business majors who are applying to top schools, Ivy League schools, even, again, almost Ivy top-tier schools like Georgetown, University of Chicago, University of Michigan, the Ross School of Business. They would all highly value a student who took the initiative to explore heavily and understand what behavioral finance is, and really showed in their essay a deep insight. As a matter of fact, the University of Michigan has a question, an essay question about a problem in the students' community, a local problem, and how a business solution can be applied to solve it. So if a student says, we have potholes in our town, and I think here's a good business solution to solve it, or we have waste in our school cafeteria, that's something a lot of my admitted students wrote about. They can use behavioral finance in their essay to show that they understand these concepts. You know, if you've ever been in stores, like the students listening to this will relate to this, as will the parents. If you shop in stores like Target or Walmart, behavioral finance explains the decisions why stores place impulse items like gum, snacks near checkout lanes. These are products customers don't plan to buy when they go in, but they grab anyway due to convenience or visual cues. When they walk in, you see there's always stuff lined up. When I go shop with my family, my daughter sometimes will see something there and grab it. She'll want it because it's right there. And that's a visual cue. And people who study behavioral finance are part of those decisions. Now, this is why stores make those decisions. And behavioral finance also explains and studies why people are more likely to buy expensive items when stores like Best Buy offer installment payments. They're leveraging the psychological bias to reduce the pain of upfront costs. That's a basic, very simple example of behavioral finance. People's decisions are not always articulated by the people making them, but behavioral finance people study them in depth. And we are all have behavioral finance program without even being aware of it. And it also explains, if you've ever been in stores, they nudge customers for charitable giving. They add a donation option right next to the purchase point where you are at the register, and they tell you that they're matching the contributions, and they're appealing towards generosity there, and even one of my students did an internship when he was in high school, got into a lot of very good business schools, ended up going to UPenn. He did an internship at a company, a nonprofit, and they studied a lot of behavioral finance. And he was explaining to the fellow people in the program here, and in his research paper and his impact paper that he did with me, about how when nonprofit companies when they have a charity box or a charity donation spot, they'll, framing it as impactful, $10 feeds a family for a week, to making the person feel that their small contribution can help a family. So it's not just abstract and a charity donation. This is all, again, the psychology of finance. And again, a great topic for students to get involved in high school, to show top tier schools, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, UPenn, Wharton, the MIT, the Sloan School of Management, UMich, Ross, how they understand these things. And these are important, and especially with the move today for corporate social responsibility, to try to get companies to donate more of their earnings to help give back to society. This is a great topic to understand. Many high school students have gotten involved with me and should get involved more, those of you listening, involved in projects about how to incentives to offer fundraising success for local nonprofits, and psychology, data analysis, and framing it for social good. This is a really big part of high school students understanding the psychology behind decisions is impressive to admissions officers, because many high school students are not aware of these things. They know abstractly they want to study business, but they don't understand the behavioral finance aspects of it. And this is a really impactful way to show that they understand these things. And again, we're talking top tier schools, University of Chicago, I mentioned Duke, UC Berkeley, and Carnegie Mellon. They would all value these things because they would help understand. And this is not just from the perspective of getting people to spend more money, it's also helping underserved communities that don't always have the right information, that are buying products sometimes without proper information. So a lot of it is, it's not just how to help companies make more profits, how to help sell responsibly is part of behavioral finance. And the best part about behavioral finance that I mentioned is colleges, especially top tier schools, honors programs, even Rutgers Honors College, here in New Jersey, love to see when students have an interdisciplinary understanding of how their major intersects with other majors, and behavioral finance intersect with psychology, sociology, so many other fields, even technology, understanding how technology affects behavioral finance. If any of you have an Amazon account, which many of you listening do, you have products suggested to you based on things you've bought, and this is all part of behavioral finance. So again, I hope you really, those of you listening who want to go major in business, eventually are interested in business, understanding how, again, niche topics in behavioral finance: overconfidence, loss aversion, herd behavior, why people follow groups. If you've ever been to certain stores, there's been known for certain stores in certain areas will have people stand out the door, actors, to make like people are online, so people think it must be popular. Understanding these psychological concepts, while seemingly simple, if students can get into the deeper parts of them that I'm mentioning, really study them. Now, how could a student do that? Many online courses, major universities, the ones I've mentioned in this show, have online courses through Coursera and other platforms that students can take courses in behavioral financing. And studying them and really having a good understanding, writing a paper. If students are in my program, they will write a paper on what they've learned and how they've learned behavioral finance can be integrated to improve society overall and improve and help underserved communities. And these are things that colleges love. Top universities see themselves as on the forefront of social change and pushing the agenda in the country, and they want students that have that long-term and big picture vision of how their major could heavily impact society. So I hope today this financial niche topic of behavioral finance, those of you who want to major in business, pursue it if you're interested in it. It could be a game changer when applying to a top tier business program. Hope today was helpful for all of you. It's great to have you all your positive messages about the show. I'm so glad it's helpful. Please keep tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.